we're in the middle of a transition, a social, economic, political transition that is taking place. At least in India, we benefited greatly from the hegemony of the United States. From the 1990s till about 2010, 2014, we had tremendous advantages because America was the lone superpower. We built a relationship with them, we built a partnership with them. And whether it's Europe or it was us, we lived in a unipolar world where, sure, America had its shortcomings, America made its mistakes, but America defined the rules, America defined the structure. And for the first time, that hegemony is being challenged. And it's being challenged effectively. So what we are seeing is a dramatic reduction in American power. And the challenge that is coming to American power is coming across the spectrum. It is coming militarily. You can see it in Ukraine. You can see it in the Middle East. It's coming economically, financially. There is a challenge being posed on the US dollar, the financial system. And it's pretty clear that the challenges are not to be wished away. At the same time, the United States is struggling internally and almost walking away from its earlier position. And that is really where we're sitting right now. Superpowers are built on energy transitions. Okay, so when you change the way you move, when you change the energy system that you use, that's when superpowers arise. So if you look at the British, they were essentially a coal and a steam engine superpower. There was a transition to petrol and the internal combustion engine. The Americans dominated that. And now we are transitioning to the electric motor, to the battery, and the Chinese are trying to dominate that. In fact, they are dominating that. And it was very interesting for me to see. I went to the BMW factory yesterday and I could see that. I could see that BMW as a company was being torn by these two different types of mobility. The past of BMW is in the internal combustion engine. Their entire plant is designed for the internal combustion engine, and then they are now trying to reshape themselves to build electric cars, build electric motors, etc. And you can see that that is just literally tearing the factory apart. And that is happening in a lot of industries. So really, that's the first question. Who is going to succeed in this transition? How are we going to succeed in this transition? The second big question, which is hurting our politics, is that the West, and to an extent India, have handed over production to the Chinese. So if you looked at the world in the 40s, 50s, 60s, you found that America dominated production. And then later, Germany, Italy, Japan, Korea dominated production. Today, China dominates production. And what that means is that it is very difficult to give large numbers of people employment. You cannot, country like India, country the scale of India, even country like the United States, even a country like Germany cannot give its people employment based on services. You have to have a production economy, you have to have manufacturing, and we have handed all that to the Chinese. So the next big question is, in this transition, how do democracies produce? China has shown the world that you can produce in a non-democratic environment. we have to prove to the world that actually you can produce in a democratic environment. So what are the models that are required? How do you think about production in a democratic environment? And what are the type of partnerships that India, the United States, and Europe can create to produce in a democratic environment? My view is that it will become very difficult for democracy to sustain itself if we are not able to produce, because you will simply not be able to give the requisite amount of jobs that you need to create a balanced system. So I think huge part of the turbulence that we are seeing in Europe, in India, and in the United States, the polarization of the politics, is because we are not able to give our people jobs. And that's happening because we have basically said, China, you produce for the world. You know, look around you, you'll see that pretty much everything that you're using is made in China. And that, at least for a country like India, is a problem. We have the capability to produce, we have the population to produce, we have the cost structure to produce, but we've just not done it. And so that's really for us the challenge. And for me, any partnership that we build with the United States or we build with Europe has to include the idea of production in a democratic environment.